Trent, and this is Vision Preparedness. Good afternoon, everybody. Happy. Welcome to my channel. First and foremost, I would like to say thank you from the motivation from the weightlifting geek. This is the HYPE-A-THON, folks. In case you didn't know, my regulars, Dan H and crew and everybody, who we got up in here, first of all, before we do what we're going to do today. We got Magic. Welcome, my friend. There's that favorite name. Cough at first. Then speak. Welcome in, y'all. Dan H. Papa's Farm. Welcome. Good to see you, Cole Watts. Good to see you, my friend. Welcome in, everybody. Now, Dan says I am going to have to sing and dance on a live. I'm back in your solid gold days. Ooh, what you know about solid gold? Come on now, Dan H. Welcome in, folks. Yaya's Best Life. Good to see you. Motivation from the weightlifting geek. Please do me a favor. I need your email address. Folks, we're going to talk about preparedness. This is because we've had a lot of new people subscribe to the channel that are new to preparedness, and we're going to have a conversation. And we're going to do some things to hear, and we're going to answer some basic questions. Folks, you can go through the playlist. You can find all types of things about preparedness and taking care of your family during natural disasters, home events, and everything else that this crazy world throws at us. Tamika Davis, welcome in. TX Lala, Torres Brain, welcome. Good to see everybody. Dave Simmons is in the house. Y'all, my gosh, y'all just keep piling in here, Dominique. Good to see you. J3GS, so forth and so on. Good to see you, my brother. Thank you, Dan H, for the 5x5. I appreciate all of y'all for piling in. Growing what I eat. Good to see you, my friend. Teresa, welcome. My sister, TLC in the garden, Terry Johnson, welcome in. And my amazing moderators that all dropped in. Mad Shad, greetings from the Erie Coast. So today, folks, this afternoon, I have exactly 1 hour. First of all, motivation from the weightlifting geek. Thank you for allowing me to participate in the HYPE-A-THON. So basically what this is exposure to people, new channels. Folks, first I will tell you, for all the content creators in the chat, if you type the word vision, it will drop a magical link to your channel. Folks, we share, we care. Check out these other folks. And please check out their videos, leave a like, leave a comment, tell them I sent you, and we can go from there. And if you like what they're doing, subscribe to their channel, folks. Miss D's Hollywood Garden, good to see you. Folks, this is what it's all about. Sharing is caring. Everybody grows together because neither one of the content creators in this chat or on YouTube can grow by theirself. Constitutional Carpenter, good afternoon, my friend. Good to see you. My man, Ghost Lincoln in the house. Good to see you as well. Folks, we're going to talk preparedness. And I'm going to ask this question to all the new people, to the preparedness community. Why do you want to prepare? Or why do you prep? Why do you prepare? Why should you prepare? In the meantime, motivation, if you are still in the chat, my friend, and if you are visible and available, do me a favor if you could, either text me or drop your email in the, never mind, I just got your text. Got you. I'm going to send you a present here. Here you go. There you go. Check the email for me, motivation. And folks, and you know what? I just saw a comment in the chat. Magic, you're absolutely right. It's natural. That's why. Exactly. And we all know that being prepared is the best way to be. And we prepare. And I see you, bruh. Motivation from the Weightlifting Geek said we prepare because we don't know what's coming. And with that, folks, I want to bring up my brother, my friend, Motivation from the Weightlifting Geek. Good afternoon, bruh. How are you?
What's going on, big bro? How you doing?
Good to see you. Good to see you. And thank you so much for being part of this. Thank you for allowing me to participate, first of all, in the HYPE-A-THON.
Hey, it's the privilege is all ours. The privilege is all ours.
So first of all, introduce yourself, tell them what you do, where you at, and then talk about the HYPE-A-THON. Then we'll get into today's topic.
Sounds good. So my name is Joe, Motivation for the Weightlifting Geek. Everything we do is about motivation. Our tagline is we want to be stem cells of motivation. We want to provide you with the motivation that you can apply to any aspect of your life where you need it. We are new gardeners, semi-certified, if you will. We we do
Right.
fitness, we do technology, we do motivation, we do gardening, working on some motorcycle driving vlogs and some other content like that. But the biggest thing that we want to do is build a strong community that helps each other.
Exactly. Now, for all of my regulars and the new folks here and all of the folks that came in throughout the HYPE-A-THON, explain to the people, what is the HYPE-A-THON about?
So the best analogy that I use, in my opinion, is Showtime at the Apollo. For those that know, back in the day, that was a situation where when you couldn't get your own deal, when artists didn't have labels chasing them, they could go to this place, this stage. There was a huge audience there, and this was their opportunity to shine and change their lives for the better. And that's what we want the HYPE-A-THON to be. All those that participate, we want you to gain family members. We want you to gain watch hours. We want you to surpass the goals that you had and set new ones.
Exactly. And that's excellent. And again, thank you for allowing me to have 60 minutes to participate in the HYPE-A-THON.
You know how we do, big bro.
Exactly. Now, my man up in the Erie Coast, Mad Shad, said he thought about this. I prep to help people, but I can't help others if I can't help myself. That is why we prep, folks. We prep. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I see something here. Where how did I miss that? How did I miss that? And I did. And why? There we go. Growing what I eat, bruh. Hats off to you. I appreciate you. And as always, you didn't have to, but you did. So I want to take time to say thank you for the donation. All donations go back into the channel for amazing things for you folks, period. None of this money stays in my pocket. I'm already setting aside money for next year's bug out weekend, which many of you in the chat participated in this year. Y'all made it a huge success. And I want to say thank you, thank you, and thank you. So, folks, just to let y'all know, Motivation from the Weightlifting Geek is new, and I say new, to the preparedness community.
Yes.
Because he started gardening this year. And I'm going to let him share his experience and what he's accomplished and what he plans on accomplishing. And y'all know, we all talk about growing our own food because we don't know what's in the food that's in the grocery store that's all pretty and red because of what's the word I want to use? Induced chemicals, colors, paints, plastics, whatever else you want to call it. So explain to the folks, Joe, what you did this year in your gardening adventure.
So I'm glad you used the word adventure because this has been a ride. So literally what happened, and I originally I said what I said somewhat tongue in cheek, but I'm learning because I was introduced to Lead Farmer through African Dreaming, and I've been watching his content. He was live. He was talking about what people. He asked the question to those in the audience: what are you trying to grow, and what don't you plan on growing next season? And I said something slightly facetious, but I was serious at the same time. I was like, bro, I can't grow dirt if I try it. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I have no clue. And he
Mhm.
challenged me. He said that if you grow a tomato this season, harvest it and eat it, I will sign a $20 bill and I will send it to you in the mail. And that $20 bill is in the mail. We have harvested our first tomato, but it's so much bigger than that because this is my introduction into preparedness and prepping. Because as you always say, big bro, do you want to be a producer or a consumer? So I want to produce, and we've got tomatoes growing, we got cucumbers growing, we got peppers growing. I got a watermelon plant vine thing that's starting to look like a watermelon plant vine thing. We got some chocolate pear tomatoes. Next year, we trying to step it up. I want to try to grow some corn. I want to try
Yeah,
to grow some salads, some lettuce, some kale. We're gonna take this thing and we're gonna run with it.
right. And that's the first step. And hats off to you
Thank
for
you, big
doing
bro.
what you're doing. Wait a minute, let me get my hair out my eyes.
There you go. Yeah.
Hats off to you and your family for producing your own substance.
Thank you, big bro.
Keyword for the day: substance.
Yes, sir.
And to my prepping family in the chat, we all know that growing our own food is very important to us. And doing it for the first time, you're proud. When I saw you eat that tomato, I was like, "Oh, wait a minute! See, he gets it now."
Yes.
It's that light bulb click moment.
Yes.
Just like my son had the light bulb click moment when he was picking green beans, his favorite vegetable from our garden, and
Yes.
the first time he took a bite, he was floored.
Yeah.
So, that's one of the things we talk about in the preparedness community. And folks, for those that are new to prepping, and if you have questions, do me a favor, type them in all caps, and we will get them answered or try to. And like y'all know, I don't know everything. I learn just like everybody and from everybody. And Dan H says, motivation, it proves that you can do something you didn't think or know that you could.
You're right, bro. You are right. I'm
Exactly.
learning. And I'm gonna tell you, and I don't mean it to come across in a cocky way, but there's a level of confidence now in the fact that I can produce for myself, for my family, for those that I love that just makes you feel good about yourself. You know, I'm ready to go to the local big box store. I'm getting some bags of pot and soil and some Miracle Grow, and next year,
Yeah,
I'm gonna be selling vegetables.
yeah, exactly. Now, I'm going to say this to you. I'm going to challenge you on this.
Uh-oh. Okay.
So now, once you start harvesting what you grow
Hmm.
and what you don't eat, how are you now going to preserve it so you can begin to build a stockpile of your garden food?
And I'm gonna tell you something. I have been thinking about that because I've
Hmm.
heard you make references to what you're doing as far as canning goes. And now I'm at that spot where I've got to do some research to figure out a vacuum sealing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I love to vacuum seal and freeze some things.
Yep.
Um, I don't know how good I'm gonna be at canning, so I might save that for the next season. I might just buy
Yeah.
me a vacuum sealer and
Hmm.
start from there and work my way up. But
Hmm.
it's going to be something where out of season, when the stores don't have it, I have it. And that's, that's going to be would you yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And all of the garden, see, that's why I love and got involved in the gardening community, because this is only my second year growing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I I've pressure canned chicken and beef and potatoes. I've taken cucumbers I've harvested and made pickles, canned my
Nice.
pickles, froze stuff, vacuum sealed it, and that's the key. It's baby steps. So the first step is gardening.
Yes.
Now, what do I do with this harvest that we can't eat all of it right now? So now I need to learn how to preserve it,
Uh-huh.
so when the store out of season doesn't
Uh-huh.
have it, guess what? I went to the freezer and pulled out a vacuum
Yes.
sealed bag of frozen strawberries.
Yes.
It
Yes.
don't get no better than that. And the
And
chat is going ballistic. Coffee said, "I need someone to literally come show me how to garden. I've watched thousands of videos and I kill everything."
now I'm gonna say this coffee first, and and I know this sounds cliche, but I promise you, if I can garden, I'm a geek. Like, without a keyboard and a mouse, I'm lost. So shovels and dirt, I was like, my mom has gardened all my life. She had
Mhm.
me out there digging holes, putting plants down, that kind of thing. But I never took it serious. I didn't see the value in it. But I'm telling you, you got this coffee first. You got it. We will find a way to help you. Listen, the same way that lead helped me, I am determined now. Anyone that has not tried gardening, we are going to help you learn how to garden. We can do a combined live stream coffee first. We can have you come up. We can talk about it. We can garden outside live. You know what I mean? We can do this whole thing.
Yeah,
But I want you to try it, fam. I'm telling you, it's worth
yeah.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dan H just said motivation is not cockiness, it's pride, because you're growing your own. And that's what it's all about, folks. And I'm looking for the comment. Oh yes, Constitutional Carpenter said preparedness is one big journey. It's not a race. It's a journey. When I started prepping back around right after Hurricane Katrina,
Hmm.
I did a few things, one serious, and then right when before the pandemic happened, I
Hmm.
kicked it into full gear with the help of a friend of mine. He is the one who sent me on this journey of preparedness. Then I discovered YouTube. And from there, it's growing. I learn from everybody. I don't know everything, and I don't plan to try to.
Hmm.
But folks, this is what it's all about. Preparedness is a mindset and a journey.
Yes.
And those of my preparedness people in the chat, y'all know we try to stay ahead of the curve and see stuff coming before it gets here so we can plan and prepare for it.
Yes.
And gardening is just one aspect of it. That's why I joined the garden or got involved with all of the amazing gardeners that are in the chat and on YouTube, because I'd never gardened.
Mm-hmm.
And now, I'm out here. I got fruit trees. I got olive trees. And
Nice.
J3GS Farm taught me something about olive trees. He said, dude, it's a process. First thing he said is, okay, what are you going to do after you harvest your olives? And I was like, what do you mean? I'm going to eat them. He said, dude, there's a process that they have to go through before you can eat them. Or he said, a process if you plan on collecting olive oil.
Whoa.
Because I said, well, I'm going to press the olives and make olive oil. He told me there's a process. I was like, oh,
what?
God. Here we go. What's the process? He said, we'll get together and I'll talk to you about the process.
Nice.
Yeah. But, folks, preparedness is a mindset, and it doesn't have to, you don't have to go out and run up your credit cards to do all the things to get it done. Ghetto, what's going on, my brother? The anchor of the HYPE-A-THON, who's going to bring it home, hold it down, and and bring that ship into the docks tonight, folks. Ghetto, do me a favor, wherever you're hosting the your live tonight, please drop your link in the chat, type the word vision. But folks, and here's something I just saw. So Happy Mac said, yeah, olives are so bitter raw, rip the tongue right out of your mouth. Yeah, I didn't know there was a process to it. So now I got to learn the process if I'm gonna do something with these olives. Yeah. Constitutional Carpenter says Lowe's has some great deals on olive trees this year. I didn't get any. Yeah, I got olive trees. I want to say they were $20 a piece.
Wow.
Or something like that. So I bought 2. I was at my local Kroger one day, me and the COO, and all their fruit trees were like $20, $23 a tree.
Whoa.
I bought 2 peach trees, 2 pear trees, 2 olive trees. They had blueberry bushes for $16, and all these other blackberries, raspberries. I packed my truck with all of these fruit trees and berry bushes and loaded them up and came home. Walked out the other day to see how the blueberries were, and the COO was out there eating them.
Problem solved.
Problem solved. So one of the blueberry bushes has no blueberries on it because they magically disappeared. And I ain't talking about Lucky Charms. The other blueberry bush, they're coming in. So there you go. But I'm stepping up my game. Not only vegetables, but now fruits.
Yeah.
And East Dad, welcome in. Good to see you. 2 times 5, the educated natural. There you go. Good to see you. Odom's Homestead says TLC in the garden. Anybody else? Kim Stage, her gardening, her life. Good to see you. She is sunshine. Good to see you as well. And she said, I bought an olive tree a year ago from Trader Joe.
Nice.
There you go. Yeah.
Nice.
And Mad Shad said, I've never seen a mulberry tree, Happy Mac. I thought it was a bush. So, folks, it's preparedness is a journey. And I'm not going to get into too much because we got literally a little over 30 minutes, but I will say this. Food, here's the top 5 preps for me. And those that are in the preparedness community and prepping, they can add to this. Number 1, your number 1 most important prep is water.
Mm-hmm.
Water, food, shelter, security, and communications. Those are my top 5. Top 5. Everybody else in the chat, y'all can drop in other things to prep. But water, folks, is life. If you do not have water, you will not sustain to be around, to protect your family, to feed your family, to take care of your family. And that's just life. M&T Cook, living and cooking. Good to see you. Welcome in. What's up? Klingon Princess. Good to see you in the house. There's my man J3GS Farm. And he said, COO, just making sure that they are sweet for you. Yeah. Apparently they were sweet. Allegedly. I don't know. J3GS. And I'm gonna do this for effect.
I love it. We're gonna make a meme of that. I don't know how we're gonna do it and who's gonna do it, but we're gonna make a meme of that because that is good stuff.
Yes. I don't know if they're sweet. I didn't get any, but allegedly they are sweet. I saw it, I heard it. J Diva Podcast. Good to see you and welcome in as well. Did I see my brother Tori's brain jump in here, somewhere around in here in the bushes? Good to see you. You know, Constitutional Carpenter says, I've got several native mulberry trees all over the property. They make great shade and look nice. Not a big fan of mulberries, though. Hey, there you go. Camo Carl, good to see you, my friend, and welcome in. Welcome in. This Camo Carl, do me a favor. While you're at it, type the word vision. It will drop a link to your channel. Folks, y'all need to check out Camo Carl. He doing the things. And I mean, he doing big things. Great guy. Checked out some of his content. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming in as a new visitor to Alive and hopefully a subscriber. Carl, you do amazing things. I heard some stuff that you make some things that I may have to send you an email because, yeah, just because. But with that, I saw some other folks come in. Help me out here, bruh. Sunshine to Sunset with Rashonda. Good evening. Good afternoon. Good to see you. Welcome in. But yeah, folks, preparedness, food or water, food, shelter, security, and communications. Those are my top 5 preps. Based on your household, first and foremost, prep what you eat. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Camo Carl. I appreciate you for your subscription. And I have subscribed to your channel as well. And I look forward to seeing your content every time I get a notification.
And I just subscribed to you too, Camo Carl. So we locked in now.
ARD in the house. Good to see you, my brother. He said, since the video where you were shown and taught what you should be in your car for preps, have you made any upgrades that would be helpful to consider? I will say this, ARD, one thing that I did add more to in my vehicle, and it was pretty cool how I did it, I added more water. So I keep water in my truck now. And I have, but now I have more because I figured out something that I found in the configuration of my truck in the back seat, still within the cab. And now I have probably 24 water bottles in there.
Nice.
So, folks, I will say this, especially those of you down in Texas and in the southern states where you're getting triple digits of heat, please, please, please stay hydrated. Drink plenty of water. Do what you can, store water, stay hydrated. But yeah, that's one thing I did, ARD. I've added more water. I always carry, another thing I did, and I did this because of Junior. We were at a cookout, 4th of July at my brother's house. And he asked me, Dad, you got a charger in the car? My phone died. And, he's one of them iPhone geeks. I don't do iPhones, don't like them, don't care about them. So, yeah. So I didn't, because all I had was USB-C for my Samsung. And, after I watched him have a small, a paint meltdown, just a little bit, about his phone not being charged, I did add in the back, another port, another cable for the iPhone as well. And I thank him for that. But in reality, who cares?
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
Who cares? Marlene Sanders Show. Good to see you and welcome in. Scott Hummer, my man. Good to see you, my friend, on this fine Saturday afternoon. For all my regulars, we had a coffee talk this morning, and Dan was like, dude, what are you going to do to make this one even a more amazing? 2 lives in one day. He even told me, he said, you got to go back to your days of solid gold and stand up and dance. Dan, here's all I can say about solid gold. And for all the old heads in the house that remember solid gold, it was an amazing show. The Roaming Prepper, my brother, my friend, good to see you. Don't worry about it. Good to see you, Roaming Prepper. Folks, if you have not connected with the Roaming Prepper, Roman, do me a favor, type the word vision. It'll drop a link. He has a live coming up this afternoon, if I'm not mistaken, after mine or right before mine ends. Check him out, folks. He is one of my brothers in the prepping community. He is a friend of mine. We talk, text, and do the things and keep each other aware of what's going on in this crazy world. And he, too, is in the great state of Texas in the heat. So please stay hydrated. You are more than welcome, ARD. And J3GS said, Vision, yes, I keep water and food under the back seat. That's what I'm talking about, folks, because I'm going to say this. Then we'll move on and keep going. If something major SHTF event is going to happen in this country, it may not be in the middle of the night. You may be at work or out and about when something goes down. Do you have the tools in your vehicle that will help you get home if you get stuck in gridlock? Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And the Roaming Prepper just said something. And I want to get this up on the screen as soon as I find it, because I don't pay. Here we go, right here. Wow. Vision Preparedness, emergency notification, active shooter in Queens on Jamaica Avenue targeting random pedestrians. Folks, if you're in the New York area, please be aware of this. See, this is the kind of information we share back and forth via YouTube, via text, whatever. There you go, people. This is live and apparently ongoing. Thank you for sharing that, Roaming Prepper. I appreciate you for it. But yeah, and folks, keep stuff in your vehicle. And what I do, the seasons, I change out my gear that I keep in my truck. In the wintertime, I leave the water in there because my truck stays in the barn and it's more likely not to freeze. But what I do add in the wintertime, I put in like 3 wool blankets. I'll throw in one of my heavier coats, some other blankets, another pair of boots, and stuff like that in the wintertime.
Nice.
So from the preparedness standpoint, motivation, what have you done to help out you and your family that you started doing since becoming on this journey of preparedness as well as gardening?
So we're doing gardening. One of the things now, I've always had a go bag that's been around for a while, but because of the advice that you've given and some of the other things that I've learned in the prepping community, we're trying to step up our water supply. So we have an extra week or two of water, and trying to make sure we have some extra things. And just listening to what you were just mentioning, wintertime comes, I'm going to make sure that I've got a couple blankets and I've got a good coat and those kind of things in my car, in addition to everything else. So this journey is really something that is becoming a lifestyle. It's not a fad per se.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a fad. It's a life for me and my family. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, I had a conversation with my son the other day. He's getting ready to go off to college. I said, I'm giving you a backpack to put under your bed.
Yes.
If anything happens at the school and you have to leave your dorm, you grab that bag. And then we had other conversations of other plans of what to do. I said, Dad is on his way. I'm rolling in hot and heavy.
Black Hawk. Black Hawk.
Wheels up in 5. Yeah. So, you know,
yes, sir.
Exactly. So, you know, and I'm missing some amazing comments. Grammy's journey. G Mama Grows. Sorry. Good to see you. How are you? Good things. But folks, you know, we have to be prepared because the world is getting crazier. We are in unprecedented times. Just flip on the tube and spend a minute looking at the idiot box, as my grandfather used to call it, the idiot box. And we know we'll learn these things. But you know, like you said, you've always had a go bag that you keep in your car. You know, in your learning, you're now talking about extra water storage and things like that. Folks, those are the things that will save your life. Put together a medical kit, a first aid kit, other than just Band-Aids. I'm talking tourniquets, you know, wound closures, the zip stitches, something that you can use that will save somebody's life outside of bandages. In the prepping community, Band-Aids and all that, we call those boo-boo kits. You know, so when Pookie decides he can fly and jumps off the sliding board and hits his knee and now is bleeding, you know, you can put a boo-boo Band-Aid on it. But if his leg's broken, you're going to need to set that leg, put a SAM splint on it, wrap it up with a pressure bandage, and cart his butt off to urgent care or the emergency room. So, okay, you know. Dominique asked, anyone ever grow herbs inside the home? Dominique, that's how I start all my herbs. And outside now, we've got cilantro, we've got peppermint, we've got spearmint, we've got a couple different types of oregano growing.
Nice.
And other stuff that, you know, the COO uses because she's part Latin, so she be making some amazing food that make a brother sit there, Joe, and do this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, look, that's after the meal is complete. You know what I mean? Just that's good stuff.
May I have some more, please? You know, no, that's just how it is around here. And you know, my son will smell it, and he come running. Okay, and when he runs, everybody knows he's running. So, yes, exactly. And Dominique Ghetto says they grow great in the window seals. Absolutely. Yes.
And
exactly. Try them inside, bruh. Do it. You can get the starter kits that are in plastic, and you put your Miracle Grow soil or dirt in it, put the seeds in it, water it, and you cover it with plastic. And then the humidity in it will begin to fill and drop down and water it. And then they will sprout and begin to do what they do. That's how I do all of my seedlings.
Now, all of my seedlings, I do solo cups. I do solo cups in my windowsill, and I leave them in the windowsill. The chocolate pear tomatoes, they're about 6 to 8 inches in height now. So they're just starting to get to the point where they need some support. which means that I put them outside in the bucket with a 5-gallon bucket and a stake to support them so that they can support me when they're ready to produce.
Ooh,
Yeah.
say that again for the people in the bushes that didn't hear you. I caught that.
Once they get big enough and they need some support, I put them outside in a 5-gallon bucket with a stake so that they can have some support, so that they can support me when they start to produce. And then
There
we
you
can
go.
preserve.
There it is. Support the plants, folks, so that they can support you.
Yes.
You know what? I'm at 2 times 5. You still in the chat? I need to copyright that before motivation decides to do it. Support them so that they can support me. Yeah, definitely. But you're absolutely right. And folks, this is how we learn.
Yeah.
Watch this. I'm gonna throw a question out in the chat to all of my preppers, prepping community, gardening community, everybody. What is your number one prep right now? What are you prepping? And let's see what everybody says.
Ooh.
Because we'll get 1,000 different answers. We may get 1,000 of the same thing. Unicorn Lady Tech says sage, parsley, rosemary, thyme, grown in containers indoors, started indoors.
Nice.
Yes. Number one prep, Ghetto says God. TX Lala says water.
Nice.
Marlene says freeze-dried foods. Absolutely. Scott says my health. Magic says my money. Dan H says freeze-dried foods. We got water. You know, I mean, it is what it is. Jason in VA says potatoes. And folks, nobody is wrong.
Yes.
That's the beauty of this preparedness journey. There's no right or wrong. We learn along the way. I can tell you now of thousands of mistakes I've made in the garden.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, and I never took it in consideration, and I'm going to tell them myself this year. This year, when I started my garden, because last year I was phenomenally successful for my first year gardening, I said, oh, shit, I can do this. Started my garden again, put in broccoli, put in Brussels sprouts, put in green beans, all types of peppers. Rain.
Mm-hmm.
Rain. We had torrential rain. And I'm gonna throw this out to my gardeners. What happens when it rains? What else shows up? And because where I live and I've got woods, this is literally tropical rainforest in the Amazon.
Yeah.
High humidity brought out slugs.
Mm-hmm. And that's it.
Devastated the garden.
Yeah.
I'm out there fighting squirrels, slugs, minks, all of this, squirrels. I mean, the slugs devastated.
Mm-hmm.
And even and mowed. Right. Devastated. And my pepper plants were looking crazy, like they'd been chemically burned. So I reached out to J3GS and Broke Farmer. And I was like, what in the blue blazes is happening to my pepper plant?
I remember that.
So they told me, he said, dude, you got a short growing season, scrap him and start over. So I literally, and I had another gardening space I had created on the west side of the house. So I got my buckets and my trees and bushes were already over there. I started over, planted peppers, planted all this other stuff, put it over there, and now it's boom. So I literally had to pivot and move. My cucumber plants, boom, there's a yellow plant, yellow flowers on them. So now just waiting for them to be germinated by the bugs and the bees and all them things, because you need males and females to do all this, which I did not know last year in order to produce cucumbers.
Yes.
So yeah, I had to pivot quickly.
And I wanted to touch on something, because what you just illustrated takes what we just discussed a step further, because what you do in Ohio may not work for me in North Carolina. It may not work for M&T living and cooking in Florida. And so we have to learn from each other when it comes to gardening, and then apply what works for us. And it's the same thing for prepping. The way you prep in Ohio, I may not be able to prep the same way in North Carolina. But because of this community, I get ideas. I didn't think about potatoes when it came to prepping, but I saw that comment, and now that makes sense. It's a starch, it's something that can sustain you. It kind of does good by itself. It can last longer. Who knew? But now I know.
Yeah, and Odom said everything wants your food when it rains. Exactly. Right, Odom. Right. I'm gonna tell you, this brother here,
Yes.
I think Odom literally could take this ink pen, plant it in the ground, and some type of vegetable is gonna come off of this ink pen. That's how bad this brother is down there. Okay.
I call him the fig whisperer, because he got
He is.
like a million different varieties of figs with everything else. It's crazy.
Yeah. And Odom, please make sure you type the word vision and drop a link in the chat to your channel, folks. I'm telling y'all, he would probably have zucchini, cucumber, and some type of fig coming off of this ink pen if he planted this in the ground. This brother's amazing what he does down there. Yes.
Yes, indeed.
But folks, it's a journey. Preparedness is a journey that the time frame is what you're able to do. And we all can only do the best we can do. I'm not saying go out there and spend every dime you have and run up your credit card to buy all this stuff. I bring it every day. Welcome in. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. And thank you for stopping in this afternoon. You know, folks, this stuff is all a journey. Camo Carl says every preparation possible may mean nothing without the mental and emotional strength, let alone wisdom. Camo Carl, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I was going to talk about that. And folks, for the last 6 to 8 months, every one of my lives, everything that I've been talking about has to deal with being in the right mindset, the mental preparedness of your mind, body, and spirit, of dealing with stuff, and how to, and being able to deal with it mentally and emotionally. Because if you can't do that, your plans are out the window. So Camo Carl, that right there is it in a nutshell.
The body follows the brain and the mind.
Yes, it does. The body follows the brain and the mind. Jason and BA just said, I just canned 55 quarts of potatoes. My brother, I've got probably 8 to 10 quarts of potatoes still in my pantry from last year.
Nice.
Yes. And I'm telling you, sweet potatoes are a wonderful thing to eat, especially when they come out of your own garden.
Yes.
Ooh-wee. I can't wait. Yes.
Yes, sir.
But folks, it's a journey. There's nothing there's nothing fast about it. We live, we learn, we pivot, and we move on. We have to. And Ghetto said, amen, Carl. Right. The mind is the first thing, folks. Now, without a doubt. Go ahead.
I'm gonna throw an analogy out just based on what we're discussing as far as prepping and what I'm learning. You can take $100 and you can put it in a checking account, or you can take $100 and you can put it in a CD. Now, when you put it in a CD, you're not gonna see it for 10 years, but when you do see it, that $100 has become something far more than what you started with. And it's the same with prepping. You don't always have to put thousands of dollars into it. I'm prepping with Solo cups. They $1. Buy a pack at Food Line, and some seeds from a big box store that were like $1 a pack. But you start and then you continue to grow. So just like that CD, when you look back years later, you don't know how you got so much equipment. You don't know how much you got so much prepping, because every day you invest.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell y'all folks, I'm still new to prepping as far as I'm concerned because I don't know everything.
Yeah.
And I never will. So it's a journey. I learn and I
Yeah.
move on. I grow. I can share things that have worked for me and have
Mhm.
not worked for me.
Yeah.
And that's the key. I literally can tell you, I don't know nothing about growing gardens. Please. I couldn't tell you. But I can tell you right now, I got 3-foot planters out there with 4-foot tomato plants in them, 3 in each, and them things is popping.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. I don't even like tomatoes. You couldn't get me to eat a whole tomato. You couldn't get me to bite into a tomato. Won't do it. Now, tomato sauce
Mhm.
and pasta sauce and salsa and all that other stuff, that's exactly what's gonna happen with them tomatoes. I'm
Nice.
gonna make it all and can it and put it away. I'm even gonna freeze some tomatoes. I'm going to dehydrate some tomatoes.
Nice. Hey,
Yeah.
it's funny you said that because in the video when I ate that first tomato, I said the same thing
Mhm.
because I've never been a big vegetable person. I'm just recently recognizing the connection between diet and fitness and overall health.
Yeah.
But when I tell you that first tomato tasted like an apple, that it's the sweetest tomato I've ever had in all my life. And I'm just waiting for the rest to come off the trees and the plants because we got them growing.
Right. Exactly. And so she said she is Sunshine asked any good books. Yes. There is the number one book that I recommend to get is by Dr. Bones and Nurse Amy. And the book is called, um, there's several that they have. One is called the Doom and Bloom Survival Medical Handbook. Okay. I'm actually looking it up as we speak. So here's the number one book I recommend. I have both editions. It's called the Survival Medicine Handbook, the essential guide for when help is not on the way.
Ooh.
You can buy it on Amazon. It's $29. That is the number one book that I will recommend to anybody and everybody, regardless of your level of preparedness, because medical is the number one thing that will kill you. Sickness, disease, I don't care how much food you have, but if you don't have the proper first aid kit, trauma
Mhm.
kit, a reference book you can go to when something or somebody in your family has an illness or an injury, that is the number one book to buy. And it is a very easy read. And now I think they're on their 4th edition, which is in color. And I
Oh.
have the 4th and the 3rd edition. And I am going to literally put this link in the chat to the book from Amazon. This is not my affiliate link. I get nothing from them for this, but this book I recommend to everybody. We got what? We got 5 minutes left. Good Lord, have mercy on my soul.
Time flies.
So in the hypathon, who's up next and what time do they come on? Motivation.
So we actually have a little bit of a break because of the scheduling. So
Mhm.
and I'm actually pulling it up on my community page. So we don't have anyone from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. At
Okay.
5 p.m. we have Papa Will the Y2K show. We don't have anyone from 6 to 7. I'm gonna go live again from 7 to 8. And then Troy Bayou Bengal on Fantasy Football Network. He's
Mm-hmm.
got 2 slots back to back. So he'll go from 8 to 10. And then my sis Marlene that's in the chat, she comes on at 10 p.m. And then my bro Ghetto in the chat comes on at 11 to close it out. And then we're gonna have the after party at midnight on my channel.
Nice, nice. Now, you know, you and Ghetto, y'all gonna be the late night brothers, wrapping it up, anchoring it down, pulling it into the docks. I cannot guarantee that I will be conscious at that time. So there's my disclaimer. If I don't show up, I'm going to try to.
We appreciate you, big bro.
Folks, that book, the Survival Medicine Handbook, do it. Get it. Those are the books. And any other books, reference books you need, folks, get them now before they come obsolete. And first and foremost, there is the book.
Yes.
Get the book. Get a copy of the book, because how many times have we seen in movies where that book is the first book to be banned? I'm just saying, allegedly, it could happen.
Now, in that book, there's a reference to houses being made on sand and houses being constructed on a rock mass. So I'm just saying, if you don't have that first book, them other ones ain't gonna help.
That's true too. Well, hey, there you go. Now you heard it. Dan H says, how about Fiddleheads? Dan, you need to fill me in on Fiddleheads, my friend. But yes, folks, get reference books, especially medical reference books. You can go through my playlist on my channel and find stuff that will help you. Camo Carl says 130 edible and medicinal wild plants and trees in my area. Tons of great info out there on that alone. Correct, folks. They have books on foraging and plants that are edible and for medicinal purposes. Wow. Excellent, Camo Carl. Excellent. Right. So, you know, and Odom agrees. That's me, Vision. Can't eat raw tomatoes. I'm with you, bro. Won't do it. Yeah. G Mama Grows says, I've invested a ton into my plants. I'm addicted and grateful to be able to grow something. There you go. There you go, G Mama. Absolutely, folks. Grow something. Grow everything. Everything. I'm trying to find Prepper Book Club. Welcome in. Jane Doe, welcome in. Whole bunch of y'all folks snuck it in. Tamika Davis, good to see you. J Diva Podcast. All these folks. Constitutional Carpenter, saw you. Rambo Green Hands. Chip Cheerio, my friend. Hope you're doing well. But yes, folks, you know, we can only do what we can do.
Yeah.
You know? And you know, J Diva 4 podcast says, I collect all books. It's a good thing. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And Magic said he's a bookworm. So there you go. That's what we have to do. Oh, yes. Okay. Thank you, Dan H. Fiddleheads. Yes, I did have some, and they were actually good, folks. Now, this is exactly. So Dan had these Fiddleheads, and I'm going to jack it up, but because I'm who I am, they're these little green spiral things that look like an octopus vegetable.
Huh.
But when you cook them, they taste like green beans, asparagus, and they're absolutely good. Wow. I was floored and shocked. And it's 4:00. But since nobody's directly after me, we're gonna keep moving this. Fiddleheads are good. I never heard nothing about them until Dan showed me to him, and I was like, dude, what the heck? What the blue blazers is that? Then he said, give me 10 minutes, let me cook them, then you can taste one. I'm like, yeah, sure. Okay. But once I tasted it, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. They're good. There you go, folks. Fiddleheads. Google them, check them out, grow them if you can, but they are in the wild. And the Roaming Prepper says, if you have a good book in PDF, you can go to Office Max and print a hard copy, but it's costly. Or if you have a printer at home, print it. Yeah, absolutely. Good idea, roaming prepper. Absolutely.
Big bro.
Yes.
They look like green snails.
Yes.
Yeah, like a conch shell.
Yes.
Wow.
And I'm going to Fiddlehead. Yes. And I'm going to share this with everybody. I'm going to pull it up here on the screen and hopefully y'all can see this. Here is what a fiddlehead looks like. Right
Yes.
here. Right here. This is a fiddlehead. Yes, they look like a green snail. I guess this is what they look like in the wild, possibly. And you cook them, and they're actually good.
I got to get some seeds.
Exactly. See? Exactly. Yeah. That's a fiddlehead. Yes, absolutely. And Constitutional Carpenter said at mid-February to mid-April here that they grow. Yes. And Rambo Greenhand says, I have 2 books on those and some in my brains from what the elders told me. Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly. Prepper Book Club, grow all the things. Yeah. Yeah. Prepper Book Club also said, I've been making prepping hauls all morning. Good for you, my friend. Keep it up. Yeah. Absolutely. So, other than that motivation, talk more about your preparedness journey, good, bad, and indifferent.
So, with this being a journey, there is a lot that I'm learning as we go, and there have been a whole lot of mistakes. For every tomato plant you see, I've killed 3. That's just because I was the one that poured all the seeds in the cup, if you remember. so, so RIP to the seeds that did not make it. Enter VP meme.
Yes.
And I know that as I go and as I try to do even more, I'm gonna make mistakes along the way. But having a community of people such as yourself and the wonderful people in the chat, the mistakes are gonna be minimal because I'm gonna have the help that I need. So that we working on the water thing. And then I want to start getting into dabbling in some solar power and those kind of things because I want something so that when the lights go out on my street, everybody else looking like, how they still got lights? Hey, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Hey,
but within that, you need to be able to also mask the inside of your house so
yeah,
your neighbors don't see the lights, because if they do, ding
that's good.
dong,
Yeah,
ding dong,
yeah, yeah,
they're gonna start knocking on your door.
yeah. You're right. You're right.
Mhm.
Yeah. But and it's one of those things we've been talking about building a supply for so long on the live stream.
Yeah.
If you build a supply of things, but you don't have a way to protect the supply when those that provide the power don't, then you lose everything that you built.
Right.
So you're investing your time and your energy. I went outside and one of the limbs on my tomato plant, because of how heavy one of the tomatoes is, caused the limb to break. And I ain't gonna sit here and say I cried, but
Yeah.
because that's my baby, that's my plant. Like I've got to do something because it can't take its own weight. Um, I want to have something down the road, some type of solar, some type of generator. There's a lot of good generators now that aren't gas. And that's what I'm loving about our community. I've learned
Mhm.
from you and from several other people about different types of generators that
Mhm.
aren't gas powered. So I want to have something so that when the lights go out, I can at least plug the refrigerator up, plug a lamp up, plug in,
Yes.
we got some ham radios, some type of there's some things that I'm trying to get to, but I got to
Right.
work my way there. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Bayou Bango Fantasy Network. Good evening. Welcome in, bruh. He is one of the men up tonight.
Yes.
in the hypathon as well. So Bayou Bango Fantasy Network, do me a favor. If you type Vision, it will drop a link to your channel, folks. You can check him out tonight during the hypathon.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Solar, and solar is it can be, it can be a complete lifesaver, game changer, or it can be a money pit for no reason.
Yeah.
So, first of all, when I talk about solar, first thing I always tell somebody is, what is it you need to power? And go from there.
Got you.
What is it you need to power? You buy your solar generators based on what you need to power. So if you need to power your refrigerator, you need to look at the wattage that the refrigerator gives off, because remember, the motor will only kick on, and that's the biggest surge that it will
Got you.
handle, then it'll come back down. So you want to make sure your solar generator has enough wattage to handle that surge. And you don't have to keep it plugged into the solar generator the whole time. All you needed to do is plug it in till it cools everything down,
Mm-hmm.
unplug it, you don't open the doors,
Mm-hmm.
and do it that way. So that conserves the generator, and it helps out the refrigerator and or freezer.
Nice. I like that. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
you don't have to freaking power the whole house. You just need to power the critical infrastructure
Ooh.
in your house to power. Plain
Nice.
and simple. Yeah.
I
And
like
that's the start of it. Unless you're gonna build your own. And that's a whole nother gambit that I'm not even gonna begin
Ooh.
to get into. But I got things that I'm working on. Then you have to have a way to recharge your solar generator. So now we're talking solar panels.
Yeah.
So when you look at solar panels, you need to look at the wattage of the panel that it'll support and pull in from the sun, and how long that wattage is going to take to recharge your solar generator to at least 80% or more.
Well, you know what? Now you sound like Jags. There's a process.
Yes, there is a process. And
But
and
I
and
appreciate the knowledge.
by all means, I am not a solar generator expert. And there are people in the chat that know more than me. So there you go. And check this out. Camo Carl said a broken washing machine can be modified into a water wheel generator that produces enough power to charge things.
Ooh.
Few videos on that here. So he's done it.
Well, I'll be.
I'd never thought of that. Carl, that's what I'm saying, folks. People in the community, yes, are doing the things.
Wow.
Indiana Jackson, 762, welcome in. Good to see you, my friend. You know, and as Dan H says, you just gave to power what will make mama or the COO happy. That is truth. Exactly. Whatever mom and the COO needs charged, it gets charged.
Yeah.
Yes. And JD says, wind machines are good as well.
Nice.
Right. Tracy K talks about you could get an ice maker to plug into the generator and put ice in a cooler to keep things cold. Might use less wattage. Yeah, there's all kind of ideas. look. Okay. And only because our other brother asked. And we're not going to be on here long, but African Dreaming, this is for you. And
it's going to be a prepping trio.
and only because this is for African Dreaming. Please click that right there and come on up, because African Dreaming is from the US. He lives in Africa now. So, bruh, click that link because it ain't going to be there long. And come on up and we're going to talk because I now want a perspective of prepping from his viewpoint because
now and I just want to say something to kind of set the stage. For those that don't know African Dreaming, there have been times where they have literally had to shower outside with their own water receptacles because they didn't have water and power. If that's not prepping, I don't know what is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Regional Sky Girl, welcome in. I hope you're doing well wherever you are in the country today and enjoying the weekend. Ghetto said, if you let African Dreaming up there, this show's going to last until me and Zach go live at 8. Yes. Yes. So here he is, and this is our other brother, and got to bring him in because no show would be out of show without the third amigo. Welcome in, bro.
What up?
What's going on, family? How y'all doing? Welcome.
What's going on? And I left this comment up here so you could reply to Ghetto on this. Just saying.
First off, no, wrong. I was comfortable just being in the bushes, man, but I've been in and out. But man,
you good.
Prepping, basics. A lot of, I mean, y'all covered most of it. Y'all covered a lot of it. You know, you don't realize what you don't have until you no longer have it.
Nice.
Things that I'm open to the concept that necessity changes. Now, what is an absolute necessity in 1980 or even way back in the days when I was born is completely different from necessities in 2023. In 2023, you need, in most cases, electricity. You need internet. You need comms. You need a lot of stuff for sustainability that you didn't need 100 years ago. Mm-hmm. Can you live without those things? Absolutely. Do you want to? Absolutely not. Because it's a whole, we just got a 1,000-liter water tank and it's a game changer. So I guess it all depends on the person, man.
Yeah. So we got a comment here from Camo Carl. He says, does living over a year in a custom tent I made 25 years ago in Michigan count as prepping?
Yes.
I would think so. I would think so. Yeah.
I would agree. You're absolutely right, Carl Camo. So African Dreaming,
yes.
Tell everybody who you are, what y'all do, about your channel, and where y'all are at right now.
Okay, well, thank you, Vision. Thank you, Joseph. Look here. I'm there he go. There he go again. I'm an older gentleman who lives. I'm born and raised in East Texas. I'm an East Texas native. I've been privileged and blessed enough. Me and my wife have lived in different countries. Hey, Mr. Mika Davis, have lived in different places all over the world. We currently reside in East Africa, in the country of Tanzania. It's been quite an experience. We love it. Every day is not easy, and every day ain't hard, but because of the infrastructure and some things from where we from that may be taken for granted at times, it's been a whole different experience. And we have a YouTube channel. As you can tell, these are two of my closest friends and supporters in this here YouTube space. And I love talking about prepping. What's up, Dan H? I love talking about prepping. I love living prepping, doing prepping, being in the preparedness community. And like Vision said about the solar panels and solar generators, I'm no expert, but I know how to survive. I know how to live. I know how to get out here and get it. And hey, Triple Threat, how you? Oh, bro, you got something in the chat now. You got something in the chat.
So this right here is my ride and die. Triple Threat Firearms and Defense. Thank you, Tarsha, so much for the donation. You didn't have to, but you did. And she said, R&D, African Dreaming, Motivation from the Weightlifting Geek. I'm in the bushes listening. Hello, everyone. Can't type. If you're listening, Triple Threat, do me a favor. Just type Vision. Folks.
Powerhouse.
Yeah.
She don't play. She don't play.
Yeah.
And I all I can say is she'll drop 2 and walk over you. So she's a good friend. She does her thing and she's good at it. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you, Triple Threat. I truly, truly appreciate it. Every donation we get goes back into the channel to have amazing things for our subscribers and our viewers. So go ahead, African Dreaming. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
no, well, I can't because you got more money in the chat, bro. You got to get back to it, man.
Magic, thank you for the super sticker, bruh. I appreciate you as always. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for putting up with me and my shenanigans and everything we do to help out the community as a whole in these crazy YouTube streets, because the world is getting crazier. So thank you, Magic. I appreciate your donation, bro.
Yes. Thank y'all for supporting this brother, man. Great channel. Amazing person, amazing individual out here doing, showing, and living what he talks about.
Yeah. And Magic says it's rough sometimes, but I like you. I ain't mad at you, and I thank you and appreciate you for sure. I know, bro. Ain't no thing. So tell us more, Jay, and if you can, African Dreaming.
Yeah.
Because you guys are in Tanzania.
Mm-hmm.
So you were talking about solar. So tell us about how y'all deal with it and what you have to do from time to time.
Wow. Okay. Well, thanks for the opportunity to speak, bro. On a serious note, y'all, like in this room I'm in, we have a couple of backup batteries set up. I've shown Vision offline two of my first 100-watt solar panels that are like huge. You know, I ain't even gonna get a metrics because they may seem a bit archaic, but solar is something that we constantly purchase, build. You see it being built in the infrastructure over here. You see some of the newer homes that are being built with everything from solar water heaters to solar water heaters. Solar is getting bigger and bigger and bigger because even in the colder months, with the exception of like right now, because like right now it's what we would call our winter time over here. So it's winter time over here. So you have less direct sunlight. But when it comes to solar, that's where you get into the difference between polycrystalline and monocrystalline, and those who have different levels of light absorption, but they still have some form of impact nonetheless. It's not easy. It is not easy. Hot showers are not always, you can have all the money and resources unless you build that infrastructure yourself. That's something that you just don't have readily available. Have we seen people since we've lived here who either have water brought in via transport from another source or means, or they may walk to get it? I've seen people because we live in a mountainous area. So you do have at this time of year some snow-capped mountains. You freshwater streams. The higher you go up, the better. I've seen
Nice.
people wash clothes in creeks and streams and parts of the river that would be unheard of in the States. And this is not to diminish or delinquish the country that I'm currently in, because there's also skyscrapers and high rises. It all depends on which city you in, and there's only about two of them, actually three. Outside of that, a lot of people live the way they lived 50 years ago, 60 years ago, but technology is making a change and it's offering advancements, and it's making the world smaller, and it's also making the world crazier. But what do you get without some take? You know, everything is yin and yang and give and take. But it's very common to see people. In fact, true story, Vision. I had a regulator issue with my propane system over the last 2 days. I was trying to get another regulator, and lesson learned: keep two on hand. Keep two on hand.
Oh.
One in use and two backups. And
Yep.
It was a little bit of an inconvenience. We cook outside like all the locals, like a lot of the native people here. No big deal. People have stoves, people have refrigerators, but everybody doesn't. And when that was our circumstance, easy peasy lemon squeezy, I started a fire literally twice a day, prepared meals, and we ate
Wow.
from those fires. So that's an example. If anybody got any questions, I'll try to answer them. But yeah.
Yep. If you guys have questions for African Dreaming, put them in all caps, please, because these brothers know I don't pay attention to the chat other than trying to keep up with that and trying to keep up with what's going on here. Because
Meme time.
I'm old for a reason. Like, what? Come on, man. What?
Look, I didn't want to interrupt Jay, so I was just waiting.
Motivation. I appreciate you, bro. I
Hey,
appreciate
how we do.
the monetary support.
Yeah.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, thank you so much, bro. Love you for it, and thank you.
You know,
Yes.
we love you too, fam.
Yes. And
Yes.
JD said, you know, fire and clean water is the first and foremost, the most important things to have.
Yes.
I don't disagree.
Right.
I do not disagree. Vision, can I elaborate on that a little bit?
Yes, go right
If you
ahead.
don't mind. The reason I feel so strongly with what JD said is because let's just say you got a 25-year supply of dehydrated food that could literally sustain 1,000 people. Would you do what with no water? You do what with no water? Now you could have been hungry for 3 or 4 days. You come across an abandoned spot. They ain't got nothing but a whole bunch of oodles and noodles and Kraft macaroni. You do what without water? Again, remind me. Now, mind you, over the course of this exploration in the pursuit of food and sustenance, you literally depleting your internal hydrative levels.
Yes.
Y'all, I'm telling you, water. Give me water, let me build shelter, and then go let me look for food.
Yes.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Exactly. Santiago asks, when's the bug out weekend in Africa?
Yeah, today. Come on over
Today?
Every day. Every day.
Yes. Yes. So Dan H said, African Dreaming, if you so old, how come you ain't on the porch in a rocking chair watching the world go by?
Great question, Dan. Mass hole is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. And here go this one up here in the corner. I ain't
What do you
mean? Well, because I got these two whippersnappers right here who keep me feeling young they keep me motivated. So I just keep living life just like I'm still back in my 30s and or 20s. So that's that.
Exactly. Magic put it best. The more people we can get on board with prepping, the less we have to worry about during a SHTF.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Very true.
Yeah. Yes.
Young man, may I elaborate on that for a moment?
Go right ahead.
Thank you, sir.
You talking to me?
Yes,
Or you
you,
talking?
sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You, sir. And the reason I agree with that wholehearted is because like it's 100% true. The less people, those who are willing, that you can educate about a little bit of preparedness. Now, they may not have the exact same resources that you got at your house, but that can be a good thing because you can barter. You can introduce them to what you have. They can introduce, let's say they got pickles and you never grew cucumbers. You didn't have no vinegar. You don't know what to do or how to preserve this particular thing. They got a whole bunch of pickles and you got some some preserved chicken or something or whatever, meat or whatever. Now, the ability to swap and barter is still keep people off your back because the more people that are prepared, the more people that's finna try to knock on your door and end up getting hit twice.
Yeah.
And you know
And
what I'm saying? It
Waldo.
just it keep things from being ugly. I'm looking at some of these comments and I just don't know why y'all. What is it, man? What?
Hey.
Hey, stop! Don't you dad me? Stop dadding me. Stop dadding me, man.
But I'm gonna tell you something. What you said, Jay, is so true. Because when everybody has, they're less likely to get jealous. Now, I may not have as much as you have, but when I have something, it keeps me occupied. When I ain't got nothing and I'm looking at you over there with everything, I'm gonna need you to give me something. That's the human mindset.
Exactly.
So the more they prep, the better.
Period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I almost said no ifs, ands, or bugs about it. Now that's a real old commercial before many of y'all were born. I won't let you.
Then they said something else.
Why can't that just be my age? What? You know, I hope by the time y'all get my age, y'all just happy.
Look, I got you, Jay. I got you. Well,
Thank you, sir.
This is proof that Just for Men works. Between
Thank
Just
you.
for Men and a good diet, that's what this is.
I'm doing my best, man. I'm doing my best. Quit giving away my secret, sir. Quit giving away my secret.
J3GS asked you a question, man.
What's that?
He said, how'd you get so old?
Man, water, drinking water. I guess eat a little bit of squirrel every now and again, and maybe a shot or something if you're a drinking person, and just enjoy life. Don't take life too seriously. Take it seriously when it comes to your preps and your preparedness and everything in between. Laugh a little bit, enjoy yourself, and y'all just keep living. You'll get there too, man, and get you some Just for Men, like Joe said.
Growing Without E said, tell them African Dreaming, just keep living. They'll get your age one day.
Somebody on my team. Thank you, Growing What I Eat. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
But folks, again, preparedness isn't a race. It's a lifestyle and it's a journey. And we all don't know everything. We do the best we can with what we have or what we know to get. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
go ahead.
Oh, Joe. My bad.
Oh no, you good, big bro. I was just gonna mention this. And it falls into the same, and dare I say, but because Jay is here, it's germane to the conversation. So knowledge is power. When you close the door to others, you literally take away your own power because we
Yep.
don't know everything. So when it comes to prepping, when it comes to gardening, when it comes to whatever you're doing in life, don't be too proud and pass up good knowledge because that knowledge could save your life one day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I just reached down on bottom shelf of my desk. I was gonna show y'all this. This is one of the lower end, but one of my first solar panel batteries that I just used for I got this, and I purchased a small converter, and it was good for cell phones, maybe an
Nice.
iPad. It has, and this is not, I'm not putting the brand on the company that it comes from or nothing like that. I'm just saying I'm in another part of the world. I can't count on, I know what John Deere means in America. I'm sorry, Vision, if you don't mind me. I don't want to get into
Go right
brand
ahead,
name.
bro. You good?
I know what John Deere, I know what some of the higher quality, reputable, long-standing names mean. Since we've been over here, it's been an adjustment for me because I had to go through and just, I hate wasting money, but you don't know until you experience a product for yourself. So I'm going through trying different brand names, seeing what works, what doesn't work, what the shelf life is like, what the uh, versatility of it is like. And I've made some mistakes, and it's been some situations I wished I could have saved us some money, but you don't know until you try it, unless you have a sincere testimony from somebody else who has.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
right now, I'm gonna hold firm on a position that everybody might not agree with. If it's a well-known and reputable product, I would rather spend more up front
Yeah.
than go in increments buying cheaper. Because don't get me wrong, something is better than nothing. But really making a solid investment on something that will last you,
Yeah.
you only helping yourself in the long run. Plus, when it comes to backup parts, spare parts,
Mm-hmm.
they're more in flooded within the whole market. Like it's a lot that come
Yeah.
with it, man. And I'm gonna tell y'all something real quick. Uh, somebody put this in here earlier. I think it was, I forget who it was, but
Mhm.
y'all, when you buy stuff, if you can get some parts for it
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you make purchase.
Yeah. Yeah.
Belts, chains, the proper oil for it.
Mm-hmm.
Get get what you can and keep it on hand when you purchase it. So
Yeah. I think it was Magic was talking about tractors and things
Mm-hmm.
like that. But
mhm.
real quick, y'all, I just want to say and Regional Sky Girl, happy early birthday for next Wednesday
Hey,
for your birthday.
happy
Congratulations.
birthday.
Yes, congratulations. And Jay, I saw a comment in here directed to you for you. Uh, yeah, there you go. African dreaming. What was it like to live through the Great Depression? And would you say you are a prepper now because of experiencing that as a young adult?
Well, y'all might not believe me, but I remember. Joe, you can't laugh already. I
Oh, I'm
said
sorry.
nothing.
Hold on. Okay.
Yeah. So uh the Dust Bowls were more common on Tuesdays. They would come. No, seriously. Seriously. Yeah, I think I might have been about maybe 6 or 7 back then. Uh it was rough, man. It was rough. It was rough, but I think you being funny. But no, I was about 6 or 7. It was rough, man. It was easy going. But again, y'all remember, you can play games if you want to, but squirrels is free. So,
There's
whatever.
that. There's that.
There's that. There's that,
There's
sir.
that.
There's that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But as Magic said, how long did it last?
Well, the ones that would come through on Tuesdays would usually last till about Wednesday night. So we would hunker down and eat potatoes, and sometimes we go outdoors to fetch water. And outside of that, we just go back in, and it was real quiet back then. Just a lot of reading. You hear an occasional fart, but outside of that,
Hey, here it is right here.
exactly. I've heard that before, sir. I'll live with it. I've lived with it.
Yes, but on a real tip, folks, this is good, and because I've been trying to get African Dreaming on here to talk about their preparedness, and the time difference is crazy between us. You know, I'm glad he was able to come up this afternoon and talk about what they go through in a day-to-day life and things that we take for granted, because here in the US we are, and I'm gonna say it and I ain't gonna take it back, we are spoiled because you turn on the faucet, the water's gonna run unless Pookie and them hit a water line while trying to steal cable from the neighbor. But they deal with this stuff, you know, every day. So you know, it's real. So I'll ask you, Jay. So what are you guys working on in your preparedness right now?
In our preparedness. No, of course, man, and thank you for asking and the opportunity to share. So in our preparedness, I'm starting to gravitate back towards something that I've completely pushed away from in some regards, but just to give a bit of context. So there's so much readily available food, not only that we grow and have, but all around us, from the neighbors to the community and all of that. But this is labor intensive food. I'm talking about not the sweet corn that you're used to back in the States. I'm talking about corn, not a lot of flavor, but a lot of sustenance, a lot of nutrition. Fresh food everywhere under the right circumstances. I haven't met a neighbor yet that is not ready and willing to share a bunch as tall as me of bananas off one of the trees in their yard. Our old spot had bananas on it, but people will, especially in the community, it's a rural area, so neighbors are everything. Neighbors are absolutely vital to life. But to be more direct to your question, when we do go into town and when we do go to some of the international stores that have, you know, shipments coming in and stuff like that, I'm willing to incorporate some canned stuff into my diet, some canned stuff as a prep, because the longer we've been here, the more we've just relied on kind of living the way that things are here. But I'm also rethinking and reconsidering having a couple of cans of Spam, an additional couple of cans of Spam, a couple of additional cans of you know, just, yes, it's processed and yes, it's preserved. But if that's all you got, the kill to the venture, hey, so have I. Ain't nothing wrong with eating a squirrel or two or a beaver. Yeah. You know, it's I'm starting to prep some of those things more than I used to in the past year, bro. Because, you know, a lot can come with preservatives, but if you hungry and if you in under exigent circumstances, having sustainability and sustenance can be that nutrition, that brain power, those calories that you need to get yourself to that better situation. So I don't want I almost started throwing all my eggs in one basket because, fresh, 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 fresh. This is here, that's here. What
Mm-hmm.
if there's an aerial issue and then all of these outdoor fresh fruits are no longer sustainable because for whatever reason they've been exposed to this or exposed to that, so you can't eat them no
Right.
more. But that canned stuff up under the cabinet or in that one room back in the back of the pantry is still
Mm-hmm.
good and still viable. So yeah.
That
Yeah,
makes
What
sense.
you
and that's real, and that's a good observation on your part because, like you said, and the chat is going absolutely ballistic, and they're going in on you, bro. And
I
I'm
see.
yeah,
Wow. Oh my
but
goodness. What did I ever do to y'all? Good Lord.
hey, motivation. This is a good time for this one.
Yeah. Now, I want to mention something real quick. I just want to take what Big Bro Jay said just a step further. Um, there have been several popular shows that portray people surviving in difficult circumstances. Now you
Mhm.
can be in your living room eating dinner and fresh food and popcorn and watching these people go through these things. It's not as real. But the,
Yeah.
the the fact of the matter is these things can happen to us. And you think that them having brain fatigue because they haven't ate in a few days is funny or entertaining? Wait until it's
Mm-hmm.
you. You ain't had no water, you ain't had no food, and you're
Mm-hmm.
so hungry and dehydrated that you can't think about how to fix it. But when you
Yeah.
prep, it makes it less likely that you find yourselves in that situation.
That's true,
Yeah.
folks.
Absolutely.
And I do the same. And I literally sit back and think, how many times a month do I go to the grocery store
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
to literally buy stuff? And I was like, I ain't been to the grocery store in about a month.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I'm
Hey, fed
like,
up.
that's what's happening. Good to see you, my brother. Welcome in, Fed Up. Hope you had a good
Well,
day, bro. I know you was probably working all day, but it's good to see you
yeah.
finally.
What's up,
Uh,
Fed Up America? How you doing?
yes.
Yeah.
Dave Simmons, good to see you, my friend. Have an amazing day. Stay safe. And a great weekend. But folks, it's all about preparedness and being able to have something when there are periods and times where nobody has anything.
Yes.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's why we prep, because there could be a day you can't go to Wally World and pick up a can of great value, whoever, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep.
And you might have to get your 22 LR and go shoot you some squirrel in your neighbor's backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And I
Mm-hmm.
want to say, Vision,
Mm-hmm.
well, to add to that very quickly. So, like you right, man, and I'm not knocking nobody because I've been there myself. Rush hour across most major cities. Now it's changed a lot since 2020. But look here,
Mm-hmm.
y'all. Most people there's a reason why during the day between the hours of like 6 a.m. and 12 a.m., Wally World or whatever parking shopping facility, you can park anywhere you want to, right next to the door, close to
Mm-hmm.
because those aren't the big hours. The biggest
Mm-hmm.
hours are when people get off of work. They
Yes.
stop by, they go by because that's when people have the time and the ability to. I'm saying that because of what you just said. And another thing
Yeah.
is yesterday, it was yesterday, day before yesterday, you was on the live and you
Mm-hmm.
were literally out there with your chainsaw and a log
Mm-hmm.
splitter
Mm-hmm.
Right.
cutting wood.
Yep.
Family, I'm telling y'all, this is just my opinion. As times progress, as things progress, that will be one of the most sought after pieces of equipment. I don't know how many of y'all have never actually took a axe and
Mm-hmm.
then chopped wood before. It looked real cool on TV, like Joe was
Yeah.
saying. You see how
Uh-huh.
the
Say that,
Uh-huh.
bro.
Uh-huh.
If you out of shape and you make about 4-5 swings, you
You're
feel like
done.
you've been in a fist fight for a
Yeah.
half an hour.
You over there.
He's dadding again. He's dadding again.
But you 100% right. You are
It's
100%
real.
right.
Yeah.
Hey, and I've done it with a machete. Now, was it large stuff?
Mhm.
Hey man, I'm gonna say if your diameter is about 10 to 12 inches, if you'd have never busted down some firewood with a machete and you literally taking off slivers
Yeah.
versus the quarter cuts or half cuts you wish you could make,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's all I can say, man. Yeah.
Yes.
Dan H is right.
Yeah. Yeah. He says splitting wood will be the new workout for SHTF. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And Magic says do it
Yeah.
safely. Yes. But you absolutely right, dude. I tried that. I was like, you should please. I'm going up here in the barn and pulling out this log splitter. I said, no. I hit it one time and was like, nope, this ain't happening. I'm done.
Hey, it's rough, boy. It's rough.
It is.
It's rough. And then
Yeah.
sometimes you take that axe, man, and you get a half cut, and then you picking up the whole block and your axe and banging that down, and you pretty much just kind of splitting it in half the rest of the way. That's some of the most exhausting stuff in the world. Yeah.
Right. So Chance says you also need to know if your tool's up to the task so your tool doesn't break on the kind of wood you got. That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Right. And Magic said I almost lopped off a finger the other day.
Oh man, be careful, Magic. My goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And Ghetto said that's why I have kids. They can do all the grunt work. Hey, I get it. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. But that's very true. I mean, now is the time, folks. I don't care if you do nothing but walk.
Mm-hmm.
Get in physical condition. You ain't got to go out here and be Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I watch my son work out with his personal trainer, and I sit there and do this.
It's somebody else's turn, baby.
Yeah, I'm like next man up. He's right there, and I'm like, I'm not doing that no more. I'm done.
Right, right. And you, who was it in here? I forget where it is. Somebody said they never had much of a problem.
Oh,
Split. Oh, it
constitutional
was
carpenter. It's a couple
okay.
comments up.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
there it is, right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely understand now. Constitutional carpenter. I'm a Texas. I'm old Texas man. I never grew up with fireplaces. We had them, but they weren't really used. I didn't grow up splitting a lot of firewood from the winter. If we did, it was usually with a hatchet, not really an actual axe. And we might get out there and cut down some fat wood or something to make a fire, but it
Yeah.
was never really like how people where vision is located and people who live north of there. You really need to be working on your fire, on your wood fire for the winter in the summer months.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's a whole different ball game.
And that's where I'm at. You have to at least let it dry out at least 2 months before you can burn it clean.
Mm-hmm.
And I got trees down that's why I'm cutting them and splitting them and stacking it now.
Nice.
And
Yep.
I got a 31-ton log splitter, so I can handle and split anything that comes my
Nice.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
But,
heavy duty right there.
yeah, those are the tools, and like you said, you were talking about extra parts. Dude, I got gallons and gallons of hydraulic fluid and gasoline and other stuff to run this thing if there is a breakdown so I can get that thing back up and continue. Because there is nothing worse than not being able to split wood with a log splitter. I'm not going to pull out an axe and start splitting wood. I'm going to sit there and do this.
He on it now. He on it now.
And wait for the log to split itself.
Yes, sit there and look at it and say, okay, we're gonna see who's gonna be what, because I'm not. Yes.
Yeah.
But folks, it's all about preparing and knowing what you have and how to fix it. We're talking about tools. Do you know how to sharpen your axe? Because there's nothing worse than trying to split wood with a dull axe.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, that's the worst.
Yes, sir.
That's the worst.
Because you know it can be better and it's still horrible. Like you know, if it was sharp, I'd be done. But we on the 55th chop and we've made a quarter of an inch progress.
Yeah. And if you think you're gonna get a wedge and then hit it with a sledgehammer and split woods, you done lost your mind. You might as well sit there. Yeah. I tried that too, and I'm like, nah, this.
Yeah, it's a whole different ball game. I ain't paying no attention to that. Let me get back to So I still need a chainsaw. Well, yeah, he had a chainsaw. He had a chainsaw out there with his wood splitter yesterday too. It's just you know, different things come up. Different people are impacted in different ways, regionally, this and that. And to add to what you asked earlier, Vision, like even with regards to just the whole way of life. Joe can prep differently where he's at than Vision can. If you down in Texas, you can prep differently from where you got longer and shorter growing seasons. You accessible. You have access to different things that's more readily available. You may have different type of, I'm not gonna say vermin, but because that sounds like ugh. But you might have different wildlife that you could turn into some steaks in some areas that you can, do with less easily in other areas. I'm a believer of talking to people, learning from people that can give you the best results in your environment, in your area, so you can be as prepared as you can. And to go back to the origins of this, because I wasn't here earlier, but like the conversation started on 101, the basics. This the expert. This the man right here. If you're getting up to tourniquet level survival, have a first aid kit. Have a first aid kit. Change it out. Keep it changed out. Upload it if you need to. Restock it if you need to. There it is.
Yeah,
there it is.
Right there.
There it is.
And that ain't no boo boo kit, right?
Correct. That ain't no boo boo.
Yeah. And keep your a supply of fresh water, and keep a supply of the basics. Literally, the basics. There's nothing wrong. Everybody has a point of origin. Everybody got a starting place. Now, you do with that what you will, but you can start somewhere.
Yeah,
you can start somewhere.
And I'm gonna mention this because I feel like it applies with what we've been talking about. I had somebody give me like 12 catfish. They were thawed or they were frozen, just frozen catfish. And it seems a little bit untraditional now because we're so used to going to the store and buying fish and other things like that. But I tell you, when I finished filleting those catfish, the reward from just knowing now, it wasn't a whole lot of meat because they weren't super huge, but the fact that it was something that I didn't have to buy from the store, them nuggets, them catfish nuggets are going to taste better than anything else.
You got that right. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Without a doubt. Yeah.
Because like you said, you put your work into it. I was going to put these up. I ain't going to put these up too hard, man. Even sutures. Sutures. And suture covers. So there he go, turning around. Hey.
Jay said, "Pay attention to me."
I ain't wanna start pulling all this
That's right.
We have this conversation.
That's right. You got. I was looking for my suture kit. They upstairs. I got 2 of them.
Now, mind you, this is where stuff. That's stuff you never want to get in a position to have to use, but that don't mean you don't want to have it or need it. And that's
That
where
right there.
building a community that's bigger than your level of expertise come in, because you can underestimate them if you want to, but some of these crafters, some of these sewers, unless you've done it and practiced yourself, if they have the wherewithal and the ability to pierce that flesh the same way do that cotton and that polyester, they could be the only available person to sew you up and stitch you properly if you're not
Right.
practicing on that yourself. And if
Right.
you the one in need and ain't got nobody else around you to know how to do it, they might be your best bet anyway.
That's right.
So that's
I
the
agree.
reality of it, folks.
You're right.
And folks, I'll say this. There are practice suture kits you can buy that has everything in it, and it will show you how to do stitches and sutures and do it. I
Yep.
highly suggest it, but I will say this: always, 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 always get professional medical training.
Always. Yes.
Always,
Yes.
always. Yes.
Wow. Come on. Wow. Just wow, man. Jesus Lord. I'm sorry, Vision. I'm sorry. I just saw that.
You good?
And Dan H ain't no better. My goodness. And it's between She is Sunshine and Dan H, y'all just done made me an old man. I ain't that old now. My goodness. Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, folks. You gotta. As we all know and say, I'd rather have it and not need to use it than need it and not have
And
it.
not have it. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
We're
sir.
we're almost at the 2 hour mark, guys. So with that, we're gonna leave it at 2 hours. Motivation, I want to say, first of all, thank you for allowing me to be part of the HYPE-A-THON
Oh, you're welcome,
and
big bro.
and having this amazing conversation with my two brothers, because you've got three different perspectives of preparedness and prepping, and from that, and I'm gonna let each one of y'all tell a bit about y'all, give some closing remarks, your channel, what you got going on this weekend or next week. Go ahead. We'll start with you. Motivation from the weightlifting geek.
So, everything that we do is about motivation. We just want to see everybody succeed. The whole premise behind this is helping everybody to grow. That we're trying to build a community. I like to lift weights. Everybody don't like to lift weights. I like to geek out on technology. Not everybody likes to geek out on technology. But whatever you're dealing with, we just want to give you the motivation that you need so you can get through it. We're just trying to help everybody. And laughter is the best medicine. And
Yes,
we've
it
we've
is.
had plenty of laughter today. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's just a privilege to be here. And man, thank you for being a part of the HYPE-A-THON, big bro, as well as my big bro Jay and big sis April. Y'all are helping to make this whole thing a huge success. And for that, I say thank you.
That's what's up. What's up?
Dan is relentless. He's in on you, bro. He said in 2 hours, 2 turns of the sand dial.
Ignoring She is Sunshine and Dan H and a whole bunch of other people in this live. I'm gonna speed this up real quick because I see you got something to do here, so I'm gonna make this quick. We are African Dreaming. It's just me right now. My better half, the love of my life, is in another part of the house doing whatever it is she doing. I'm Jay. She's April. We are African Dreaming. We from East Texas now. We a East Texas family, East Texas couple, but now we live in East Africa. We are two proud Texans who learning from and sharing knowledge with our brothers and sisters over here in Africa. We absolutely love it. But we Texas natives, we live Texas, we learn over here, we live over here, and we learn from over there. It's an exchange. We talk about a myriad of different topics. If you've never been over to our channel, we sure would love to have y'all. Y'all more than welcome to come on over, hang out with us. Tomorrow we're gonna be doing Sardine Sunday at I want to say about 9 p.m., 9 p.m. my time. So that's like 1 or 2 Eastern Standard. And we hope we see y'all over there. And you got money in the chat, bro.
I see that. A couple of things. First, tech department, if you could please type vision so it drops a link to African Dreaming.
Okay.
If y'all have not checked them out or subscribed, please go check them out. Please drop a link and go check them and join them on Sardine Sunday. And,
thank you, bro.
ARD, bruh, hats off to you. I appreciate you. A resilient dad. This is a good friend of ours collectively. He is a massive supporter in many communities here in these YouTube streets. Thank you for the donation, my brother. I appreciate you as always. And I can't say much more about you other than I hope to see you and your family at the Bug Out Weekend next year, my brother. I appreciate you.
For sure.
With that, I want to say, everybody in the chat, thank y'all for coming out and spending 2 hours with this guy right here, and my brothers up here, and everybody in the chat. Y'all know I love y'all. If y'all two brothers could hang on 1 minute as I close this out.
Sure.
I'm gonna say this, folks, because y'all know me, and y'all know I take preparedness seriously.
Yes.
Keep prepping, because your family depends on you, and it depends on your life. And before we leave, I just saw something dropped in the chat.
Yes.
Growing What I Eat, my brother, thank you for the donation. We truly appreciate it. And thank you for supporting the channel. Type the word vision, Growing What I Eat, so it drops a link. Folks, y'all got to check out this brother, because you hear what he's saying. He eats what he grows. So that's the key to life right there, folks. And with that, I appreciate all of y'all. Remember this, keep prepping, because your family depends on you, and it depends on your life. We will see you in the next. Go ahead.
Real quick. Very sorry, brother. Very sorry.
You're fine.
Who we passing it to? Who coming up? What's going on?
It's supposed to be Papa Will, the 2K show. I put a link to his channel in the chat, but he hasn't gone live yet. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But we will be back on our channel, Motivation from the Weightlifting Geek, at 7. So
for sure.
Type vision, drop the link to your channel, please. Motivation.
Folks,
sure will.
Yes.
If y'all can't find Growing Papa, go check out Motivation. Check out Ghetto. They wrapping this whole thing up tonight and bringing it home. And then what time is the after party on your channel, Joe?
At midnight.
Midnight. If you're still awake or half awake, or you just coming in the house, check him out. With that, folks, Vision Preparedness, we love y'all. We will see y'all in the next video.
All right.
I'm Trent, and this is Vision Preparedness.